I am joined today by Niall Flanagan. He's the managing director at Club Incorporated, and he's managed some of the top properties in the world, including his time as president and CEO of Loch Lomond, director of operations at St. Andrews. He's been the general manager at the Dubai Golf and Racing Club and director of golf at Celtic Manor. Niall, welcome to Private Club Radio.
Dave, thank you very much. Delighted to be here.
Yeah, it's awesome. And, first off, I just want to talk about some of your history, if you can go through it for some of our listeners who might not know who you are, Niall.
Yeah, well, unlike a lot of club managers who have gone through the food and beverage direction to get into club management, I kind of took the golf route. So I started with the PGA and was a rules official with the PGA and kind of got promoted up to tournament director. And then got the opportunity for my first management role was at Wentworth, which is probably, the Wentworth Club is probably the biggest country club just outside of London. Right. And it had the World Match Play and the PGA Championship. So that was a great opportunity for me to learn about the club life and also involved with my golf background. I really kind of got some great training, worked with some great people. I was quite young at that stage. And then got the opportunity to go and set up Celtic Manor, which obviously had the Ryder Cup in 2010, but this was back in 1995, so it's a long way then, and it's come a long way certainly from those early days, that's for sure. But it was a great opportunity for me to learn about capital expenditure and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And then really got to go to Dubai. I'd always wanted to go and have an international club on my resume, and I didn't really have any languages, so to go to the Middle East where everybody speaks English was fantastic, and have 3.5 years in a different culture with very different workforce, mainly Indian, Filipino on the ground staff, and Sri Lankan. Was a great learning curve. Mm-hmm. And then got the opportunity one day. There was an advert in the Sunday Times, and not often did I get the Sunday Times in Dubai.
Yeah, it's tough to get probably.
Yeah, and there was this opportunity to work at St. Andrews, the home of golf, and I kind of said to my wife, "That's too good to miss." So
yeah, right.
I managed to get that one after about 3 or 4 different interviews, and wow. It was a tough task, but quite rightly so. And was there for 6.5 years, and we did a lot of great stuff, including the Open in 2005. And I think also that was when I met Jim Singling and got involved with Club Managers Association of America. And at that time, they were very keen to get the St. Andrews Links Trust involved and the home of golf to really give that organisation some credibility when it came to knowledge of golf as well. So we really helped out, and we got to know the board, and a lot of the people who probably listen to this kind of know me, and they were a great influence on my career as well. So some really great people from that perspective.
That's fantastic. I'd love to know what that transition was like to go from Dubai and Saudi Arabia to St. Andrews, completely different climates, different people. What was that like?
It was crazy. I mean, my first day, I think we had more rain than we had in the 3.5 years.
Yeah, right.
He was very different. An Englishman coming from the desert, telling the Scots who see their role as knowing all about golf and the home of golf what to do was difficult and different, especially trying to put in the service side of things. And really, my job was to try and look after the customer. I mean, we had 275,000 rounds of golf on the 6 courses at the time. There's now 7, and 2 clubhouses. So it was very different culture, but one that was inspiring, and you got to meet a lot of great people, and it certainly wasn't boring, that's for sure.
Yeah, give us just one story from St. Andrews. I'm sure you have a million of them, but what's one of your favorite memories, or something that just makes it unique, unlike any other place on earth?
I think just generally on a day-to-day basis, you would see husbands and wives, sons and fathers crying on the first tee because it meant that much to them. Wow. It was kind of the epitome of trying to get to the home of golf, the holy grail, if you like. And I guess I didn't realize that it meant so much to so many people. And I guess it was our job to try and meet those expectations and try and make it, the experience really fantastic. I guess one of those was Bill Clinton. He came in and one day and trying to, he was great, and it was around about the time when we had a big problem in this country with foot and mouth. So the tourism was a really low point.
Yep.
And it was a big thing to see if we could get President Clinton onto the old course, and we did that. And but he was very generous with his time, and I think he enjoyed the course, and certainly the locals took to him as well. So that was quite a good experience.
That's fantastic. Have any idea what he shot that day?
Well, we don't know. I think he had a couple of mulligans on the way.
Yeah, yeah. I guess we allow our ex-presidents or presidents to get some of those.
The nice story with that, he took a local guy out because there was three of them. He said, "Look, I would like to take a local." He was a really good player, and on the 8th was a par 3, and he gave him a new Pro V1 ball with the presidential seal.
Wow!
And this particular person hit the shot, but not with the ball. So the next hole, the president said, "Why don't you use my ball?" He said, "I didn't like to." He said, "No, use the ball. Use the ball." And the 9th on the old course is a short par 4. And he was a good player, and he hit it on the green, and then he held the putt for an eagle, and the president's
nice.
Running around. The eagle has landed. The eagle has landed. So quite a nice story for him.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So what was the transition like then? Starting Club Incorporated and getting into the consulting side of the business.
Yeah, very different. I mean, I'd learned a lot from the difficulties we had at Loch Lomond, where Niall Anderson, the owner, unfortunately was had his issues, and we were being run by the bank, and so therefore dealing with accountants and with legal representatives in trying to make sure that the club stayed afloat was a challenge, and something that you don't often come up against. And so I learned a lot from that time. And I guess what I wanted to do was with clubs and working with Dick Coplin and Kurt Keebler on strategy and governance was really important. And I kind of learned a lot from those guys, but also learned from my experiences when trying to get the club through, and how we could actually make sure that the club stayed afloat, and that we could move on to the new ownership, which I'm pleased that it actually did. And so when I left the club, it was really a case of trying to put those skills into place. And I think from our point of view, trying to find our perfect customer is an individual who would like a golf facility, but doesn't necessarily know how to run it.
Right.
In some cases, they're not even golfers. Mm-hmm. They just feel they should have a golf club. And so therefore really putting the structure in, and then putting the management in around that, which is a lot of fun, but sometimes hard work as well.
Oh, I bet it is. Yeah, yeah. Now, I'm really excited for this Club Leadership Summit that's happening here in December. Can you tell us a little bit about that conference and what's going to be in store for folks who attend Belfast?
Absolutely. We're really looking forward to having you over, Gabe. And, I think, certainly a lot of the managers have said that they're looking forward to meeting you as well. They hadn't really heard of your service as I hadn't until we met in July. So I think getting the Europeans on board would be great. It was something I picked up from Dick and Kurt, where they had the K2 Summit, where they invited like the 50 top managers from around the country to really network and gel, but also take very talented speakers who aren't necessarily in the industry to speak to these leaders who could run a golf club but wanted to see what else was outside of the industry so they could bring that back into their clubs. Right. And we kind of tried to do that with the Club Leadership Summit. So this is the 6th year, which I can't believe it's been so long. But the first year we kind of ran it by the skin of our teeth, and we were at Wimbledon, and we had some great speakers there. And then we've been at Wembley, Twickenham, Goodwood, and last year at Lords. So it's very much sporting venues in and around London. But we kind of run out of them. So this year we're going to Belfast, and we're going to the Titanic exhibition, which I have to say is, well, they just told me it's the largest visitor centre in the world now.
Wow. Wow.
And it's spectacular. What they do for their customers and the customer journey, and people can take as long as about 40 minutes, or some people take 2 hours. It's really worthwhile, and obviously everybody's probably seen the film, so you get a kick out of that.
I'm the king of the world. People are probably all doing that there, right?
see where it was built, and actually it's built to that point. So
Yeah.
yeah, we're actually on
Nice.
we're having the chief executive speak on the Sunday evening, and it's going to be at that point. So
Cool. That's awesome. Yeah, let's talk about some of the other speakers that you have in store, because it looks like it's just a star-studded event.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, for those of you who read my blog, you know that I'm a massive Tottenham Hotspur fan. So
Oh yeah.
they're currently playing out in Wembley and having this amazing stadium being built. So we've got the director of hospitality, a chap called Andy O'Sullivan, speaking. And really, I've got to know Andy over the last couple of years. And what they're trying to do is, because they're going to have the NFL games and pop concerts, it's about how can we get all types of fans to experience, top quality. So, literally from the subway all the way through to walking up to the stadium and getting your seat, and then the experience of the food and beverage, and getting your hot dogs and getting your cokes and your beers. How have they been able to do that, and at the same time encapsulate the noise and the sort of the atmosphere that they're looking for as well, so it's not a dead space, which some new stadiums are. And so that will be really fascinating, and I know a lot of people will enjoy that, because again, looking after customers, and that this year, that's what we're talking about. It's all about customers are key. So from that point of view, that was a stadium experience. We've got Johan Lindeberg, the famous fashion designer, who came in and changed what certainly the young golfers look like.
Right.
Back in the 90s. It was a bit tight, certainly a bit tight for me. But now he's kind of, he went away from the business and come back, and he's looking at slightly older people and as clients now, and his stuff's really good. So that'll be interesting to learn what he learned from that perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Those of you who know the Buffalo Agency and the Billy Casper Group, we've got their CMO, Carl Ragsdale, speaking, and he'll be talking about how to engage new customers to the game, because I know that's what Billy Casper is all about, getting people to their 150 properties around the state. So that will be an interesting topic. We've got Alexandra Mearson, who is a fascinating character, nothing to do with golf whatsoever, but has done a lot with the luxury brand LVMH on their e-commerce.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And he's actually a watchmaker in the UK. So it's really how those luxury brands have continued to sell their goods to their customers, and how they create new customers as well.
Tag Heuer, is that the watch company? Because I know that's part of that group.
Yeah, that's the watch company. But the Mearson watches are not part of LVMH. That's his own private.
Oh, okay.
Kind of does about 2 or 3 days with LVMH, and then the rest of the time he runs his watch company as well. But
got it. Yeah.
That background is something unique.
That's unique. Yeah, totally. Yeah. I love the diversity of the different industries that you're featuring, and I really think it's going to be a well-rounded few days there in Belfast. I know you mentioned the Hotspurs, so we can't talk to Niall Flanagan without talking about the Hotspurs. What are your prospects here, Niall, for the coming few months here in the Premier League?
It's the Wembley curse. We can't win at Wembley. So this week we're at Bournemouth. Bournemouth are coming to Wembley. So the problem is a lot of these teams will never play at Wembley. So, it's like their cup final. So every week when we're at home, we have to go up against them trying the hardest. So I think we're we haven't lost away yet. So that's been good. The team is very solid. We have a great manager. We just have to pray that we keep in the Champions League spot would be good, ready for the next season and the next stadium, which would be great.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I just want to direct our listeners to your website for the conference, which is going to be clubleadershipsummit.com. Very easy to remember. It's an invite-only event, Niall. So if tell us a little bit about some of the attendees and the caliber of managers that will be at this summit.
Yeah, we've got some great attendees coming. We've got the club's represented Valderrama. We've got Videbon in the south of France. It's great. We've got the Wisley in London. We've got Woburn just in London. We've got Yazlinks out of the Middle East. We've got, we've got Sweden covered by Bastard, which is nice, a great golf course. We have Monterrey in Portugal. We have, where else we have? San Roque in Spain. We have the National Golf Centre in Spain as well. I think currently we're around about 38 or 39. We've got Carnoustie for those of you looking at the Open next year. So we actually worked on the search for the chief executive, the new chief executive at Carnoustie. So Michael Wells will be coming. So that'll be good. His first time to the summit. We've got Royal Portrush, which will have the Open in 2019. And again, those of you who read the blog yesterday, it was my first visit to Portrush last week, and it's an amazing venue. It'll be great for the Open. So, yeah, we've got some Royal Dornoch as well, up right in the north of Scotland as well. So there's a couple of very old clubs, a couple of new clubs, but primarily those managers are very skilled in their operations. They've got big clubs, and they want to learn more, which is what it's all about.
Yeah, and from the United States, I know the Riviera, Don Emery's attending, and a few others here from the U.S.
Yeah, Bel Air as well. Adam's coming, and we've just heard that Tara's coming from Desert Highlands, which is really nice as well. So
yeah,
it's good to see her again. Yeah, it's nice to have some Americans come across, definitely.
Yeah, it's going to be a good mix there.
You know, it's one of the things when we spoke, it was nice to have you come across and see if we could get a couple of the folks to come. So that'll be a good interjection, definitely.
Yep, I'm looking forward to doing a little live private club radio, talk to some of the speakers, and really cover this incredible event that you're putting on. And once again, the website is clubleadershipsummit.com. Definitely recommend you check it out, and maybe you can beg Niall to give you an invite. I don't know if there's any left, but
as I said, we're getting pretty close now. But if they give us a good enough story as to why, then we'll obviously look at that, and we welcome all the best managers in the world to come. That's for sure.
Yeah.
The other thing that we do raise money. We'll have a charity this year. It's the charity which is Sport Changes Life, and it's connected to the Rory McIlroy Foundation. And Rory is the host for the Irish Open. And this year, the foundation raised over £500,000 and gave it to Sport Changes Life, which is fantastic. So we're going to have some auction prizes that we'll put on the website, and they'll be pretty spectacular. Last year we had opportunity to play at Pine Valley and Merrion, which is really nice.
Sure.
We had the opportunity. One of our partners is Pacific Links, and they played at the Pacific Links Champions Tour event just a couple of weeks ago. So there will be probably just 5 auction prizes, and maybe we'll try and promote those as we get nearer the time as well. So if anybody's looking for an amazing prize and would like to contribute to the charity, then it's a very worthy cause.
I love that idea. Maybe some of the clubs out there could use that as a referral incentives for who refers the most members or something like that. It'd be a good way to use that.
Yeah.
Yep. Awesome, Niall. Well, thank you so much for joining us on Private Club Radio. I could talk to you all day, so we'll have to do this once again here soon.
I'll talk to you as well. Hopefully we'll be talking over a Guinness when we get to Ireland anyway. So.
Oh, that'll be fun. Yep, absolutely. Well, thanks for joining us, and hope you have a good one, Niall.
Thank you very much indeed. My pleasure.